We told you tennis has been busy. We'll get ready for the second edition of the National Tennis League. Godwin Kenka is the director of the International Tennis Academy. They are the ones organizing the National Tennis League. He joins us now on the show to talk about the league, the objective, and what we can do with it in the future. Godwin Kenka, good to have you on the show.
My pleasure always. Thank you.
Fantastic. Second edition of the National Tennis League. What are we expecting differently this year?
More teams, more money, higher standards. I think we have a lot going for the tennis players in the country at this time with the tennis league. We're introducing, I think, 45 weeks of tennis. Last year it was about 32. Now with 10 teams we're going up to 45. That is nothing if you realize that a country like Spain has about 364 senior tournaments in the year and 244 junior tournaments. But we're getting there. We're working very hard to get there. And I think that the aims that we started out with last year are still the same. Take tennis to top flight tennis to more cities in Nigeria, and so get the followership, get more youth interested. I mean, get these players to play as squads, and then attract coaches, sponsorship, put good money out there. 7 million this year for the winner. There's a total of 17 million as prize money. Most of the sponsorship is going directly to the players, and that will enable them. And we advise, go to professional tournaments, satellites, 2 weeks of satellites, wherever, South Africa, Egypt, and try to rake up some ATP points to get on the ranking. From last year, after we started with the intensity of the league matches and all that, we have 8 players already ranked in the ATP. So we hope that if we up the ante this year and they play that regularly and compete so ferociously, we will have more players doing well in the satellite tournaments.
Okay, for this one, how many teams are we going to be having, since we're now having about 45 games?
Yeah, we have 10 teams from 8 last year. We were targeting 12, but 2 didn't quite meet the standards, so they had to drop. So playing round-robin matches in 2 groups. Each group will come up with about 20 matches, and then we have the quarterfinals or semifinals and the finals. So that takes it up to 45. And when we say weeks, 3-4 tournaments can take place in the same week. Okay. So if one is taking place in Port Harcourt, one in Kaduna, that's 3 weeks. So sometimes people ask, "Oh, you're aiming for 60 weeks. How many weeks are there in the year?"
Okay. Yeah. Can we have an idea of the players we expected to see this year's competition?
Yeah, all the top players are in. All the top players. In fact, we had the challenge of restraining and supervising and superintending the league a bit, because there's 7 million out there. Some people are seeing it as business. They want to quarantine all the players and get them into their team, and then they have a fait accompli. They go win the league. So if they invest 2 million and then they get 7 million, they put 5 million in their purse. But that doesn't help the system. So we try to ensure that only 2 top 10 players can play in any team, and only 1 top lady can play in any team. So we try to balance it so that we can have a fair spread, because it doesn't make sense going to Port Harcourt to watch a tennis league, and then a team is mauling the other one 6-love, 6-love, 6-love. So we have a fairly balanced team, and we have all the top players in. Christian, all the top 10 players are in. All the top 20 players are in. And I think a lot of those outside of the top 20 are in. But there was a lot of competition to get the best players into the teams. But with a little bit of convincing and cajoling, we managed to get the spread, the balance right.
Okay. I mean, at the launch on Thursday, the minister and everyone were actually there. I mean, they coming in, how much impact is it going to have on the league? And for some of the players that will be there, it seems we have some younger players like Mary Love and the like. What's kind
of... Yes, the whole idea is part of the structure we're building. from the junior tennis circuit to the league. Actually, it's the first in Africa, and it's glamour. But we needed to glamorize it.
Okay.
So because it's important that sports is glamorized, so that the young ones have fun. At the launch, we had ballet dancers and all that. It was such a beautiful thing, and having the sports minister come and support that kind of private initiative gives a lot of encouragement to sponsors to say, oh, they appreciate what they're doing, because they could do something else. I mean, they don't have to do tennis, they don't have to do sports, but having these sponsors come in and do tennis and support it with such a, I mean, just not the finance, but such massive leverage, because the whole organization is involved. We have a great team of support, I mean, of managers coming in and really making sure that this thing works for the country. I think that's very good. And of course, the minister was, I mean, I don't know what word to use. I think he was shocked at the level of organization and the impact that opening event generated.
Okay, which of the states is starting it?
The way we are, we're 5 months away from the end of the year, so we'll probably have start with a bang, have it in 4 centers, have all the top teams play against each other and start big, and hopefully I think we'll have a situation where we have 3 matches, 3 ties going on at the same time in different cities.
So which of the cities are we targeting now?
I'll take that. I haven't told them, but okay. I can tell you.
Tell us, yeah, tell us.
I think we'll have Abuja, we'll have Lagos, and we'll have Port Harcourt.
Okay, those are the 3 states that are starting with 3 cities.
And I just want to know, like, I mean, for example, Lagos, and where's the venue where they're going to play the game?
Last year we didn't have anything playing in Lagos, although we had the finals here, and I think the semi-final here. We had no teams playing, but in line with the aim to spread tennis, take top flight tennis, the semi-finals were played in Enugu last year, even though Enugu did not have a team. This year we're hoping that we can touch Kano, which is angling to make a team, but we entice them, we take the match there and they see how great it is, and then they raise a team. So Lagos is playing at the stadium. They have 2 teams this time. Lagos is playing at the stadium, and then the CBN Features, which was originally located in Kaduna, is coming to Lagos with the young girls, McLeod, Mary Love, Itodo, and all the young guys, because we needed to put the young guys into the fray and let them challenge the seniors. And we saw at the exhibition, at the opening, Mary Love took on Sarah, who is number 2 in the country, and won won the tie break. So the fear is gone, and I think we're making tremendous progress.
Which stadium in Lagos?
No, the National Stadium tennis course will host, I think, the leadway team, and then the CBN Features will be at the Civil Service Club on Willowa Road.
Okay. It is believed that the National Tennis League is largely responsible for the significant rise, I mean, in the standard of teams, with 7 players now ranked by the ATP. I want to understand why.
Yeah, because first is the competition. If you play regularly, practice makes perfect. The other point is that there is a mental challenge with playing for a team, because you're not playing for yourself. We saw in the final last year where the success of a team depended on one player, Christian Paul, and he had to deliver. And so if you're able to cope with that kind of pressure, it means that you get mentally tougher, and then when you take that into your professional match, individual matches, you don't worry about crowd, you don't worry about your opponent, you focus. So is that addition that the team event gives you to strengthen you. That's why you find some players in the top 100 beating, I mean, outside the top 100, beating a player in the top 10 because of the wave and the adrenaline and of hosting and having your team support you and all that. So it takes it to another level. And then in addition to that, you have the fact that you now have teams employing good coaches to train the players, and then they train as a squad. before the league, players just went out and let's go and play, and they went to play. Now the teams are structured, and the coaches have programs for them, and they can train them. Oh, you must go out there and work out. So that structure, that squad element, helps to build it. It's the same thing that the Lang project did for Britain when Tim Henman came through. They put 5, 6 of their best players in a squad and train them together. And when you do that, 1 or 2 players will come through. Maybe not all of them, but 1 or 2 players come through as stars, and then they hit the world scene.
Before we let you go, let's just try to understand, what's the role of the Nigeria Tennis Federation in all of this?
They are the parent body of tennis in Nigeria, so whatever the child does, I mean, wherever it is out there supporting and all that. But, I mean, I think that everybody agrees, which came out at the launch, that sports is better if it's private sector driven, because the private sector is about delivery, it's about goals, it's about self-actualization. You want to deliver, okay, and it's probably not the same as the bureaucrats will do. Yeah. But so if we have sports that is largely private sector driven, and we understand it, need to glamorize it, to market it, to sell it, to be responsible to the sponsors, then the sponsors are happy and we're good.
And we're also happy that we're talking about it. Thank you so much for coming around, Godwin Kienka. Always a pleasure to have you come around. Cecilia, everyone talking about the 2016 Rio Olympics. People are not talking about the Paralympians, and they're also getting ready.
Yeah, because, after the Olympics, and that's because maybe they're even more privilege. Let me use the word in preparations and all. And when you see some of them, when you talk to them, there's just this energy, this belief in them, and say, look, if the Olympians can do it, the Paralympians can definitely do it. Remember London 2012? I mean, when the Olympians came back empty-handed with nothing, they actually came out with a lot of medals, and the celebrations was wild. So
and
it's
the
like
para-table tennis players preparing.
Definitely at the National Stadium, and they're really ready. They're saying, look, they actually need more training. They've been at the National Stadium for more than close to 50 days now. So they just want a situation whereby they can get used to the equipment they will use while the tournament is on. Because what they're training with now is actually what the table tennis players are training with. So it's not the same thing when they get to the games. All they want is for the sport minister to fulfill, what he said, that look, they can actually, give them something.